Press it.
Don't do it. Anyway, we're on. We're live. We're live.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I like saying that. I feel like you can say that to everybody until about March if you haven't seen them before.
Yeah, I think so.
A good Happy New Year. What are we talking about this morning, Bertie?
Today we were talking about, and I forgot the title already, turning your goals into reality.
Yes. Turning your goals into reality. You just gave me a stat that tomorrow is, what were you saying?
Yeah, so generally it's around this time of the month. I think it's the 16th or 17th of the month, which is statistically, I can never say that word correctly, statistically, the day that people give up on their New Year's resolutions. So that's the day. And interestingly, we always saw this. So back in the day when we ran like a takeaway ordering website, New Year's Day, mega busy.
Right,
Going
okay.
up to like the 15th, it was dead. It was like every day it was like, shit, there's something wrong with the website. It's not working. And we knew this every year, but it was so like it just dips because no one orders takeaways. On the 16th or 17th, whatever that day was coming up to the weekend, massive spike again. Like you'd beat the New Year records. It's crazy. And it was so predictable. So I think, it's not just food, it's everything really. Like that is the day. It's like you've had a couple of weeks, now it's like, forget it. Like we don't need this in our lives anymore.
So we just lose our resolve. You just lose the intention and you just think, oh, F it. God damn it, life's too short to not eat takeaway. Let's get back on the bandwagon.
Yes, that's right. So I think it happens with a lot of things. I think this year is very different, isn't it? Like, there was a lot of people that were like, dry January, it's going to be a thing. 2 days later, lockdown was announced, and then that's just gone out the window as well. So, there's always these external influences that will change. But I think what the mistakes a lot of people make with goals, and I make them, and everybody makes them, I see these with my clients as well, is that you can sometimes set a goal like, I don't know, I want to lose weight, or I want to run a marathon, and all whatever these goals are, but then you don't have a plan to get there. So suddenly you've got this big goal that you want to reach, but then it's like, well, actually, how do I do that? And that's always the bit that's missing. So it's not that these goals aren't achievable. Sometimes they are, and sometimes you set unrealistic goals, or the expectations are a little bit too high in the time period that you've got. But a lot of the time it's because the planning hasn't been put in there. So, for example, I've started this year, and one of the things that I've started doing is sending out a daily email. So I've started emailing out my list daily. So going from having no communication from me at all to literally getting daily emails. So that task actually seemed quite big and quite scary. But when I thought about it, it was like, well, what is it? Half an hour a day? It's 30 minutes a day that I need to put into there. It's not that much. Actually, it turns out to be about 2 or 3 hours a day because I'm terrible at writing and it takes me ages to edit my own spellings. But still,
It'll get shorter. And as a tip, use the tool Grammarly. I don't know if you use that.
I do use it.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't live without
my life on a daily basis.
Yeah, I couldn't live without Grammarly. It's such a good tool. So
absolutely. So I think broken down is the point. If you can break these goals down and actually don't just say you want to lose £30, for example, which actually is another one of my goals. It's I want to lose £1 a week. And then actually you can start working towards that, because if you can do that, like if you can lose that £1, or if I can write that one daily email, I just have to do that again. It's just rinse and repeat. And I think that's the point that's missing. So actually it's a lot of the time I say common sense, but it is just taking that, I want to achieve this. How do I break it down? It isn't rocket science, but it does require the extra bit of planning that the majority do not do. So, for example, oh, sorry, Debbie, you can talk now because I've just been rabbiting on for ages. Your go, jump in.
I was thinking, for me, it's like, I love the power of 3. And for me, it's a 3-step process. There's something about creating intentions. So for me, your example of I want to run the marathon, that's an intention, which is great, but it's a bit woolly. Then the goal would be, I want to run the Nottingham Marathon, and that's in September. And then the action would be, I'm going to put my running shoes on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. before my lunch and do an hour run.
Perfect.
And it's about making it specific, isn't it? Because we make these goals, but actually they're kind of woolly and they're more like intentions about losing weight or I want to earn more money. Well, how much more money? Well, what are you going to do every day to earn more money? And it's that specificity, isn't it? And then, like you said, I'm going to write my email every day. Well, if you pick a time of day and you put that slot into your diary, then that's going to get done. And it's being really specific. What time? What are you going to do to get that stuff done? And picking a day of the week or a time. And I think when you make that real specific action, that's when you follow through. But when it's woolly, like I'm going to run a marathon, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything, does it? Like you can easily not do that. But so I think it's like set the intention, then make it a specific goal, then make the actions really specific. You know, what are you going to do? And I think that's the bit that's missing sometimes with goal setting. It just becomes a bit fluffy.
Exactly. And if you've got a goal that you want to go to, like if it's, and I mean, we've spoke before, you know, about creating goals with soul and all that stuff. Like it has to be your goal. It has to be something that you want to do. So, you know, if you've got a partner, for example, that's banging on at you for losing weight and you're actually thinking,
I love weight.
I'm fine as I am. You know, one, you need to get rid of that person straight away. But two, it's never going to be your goal. You're going to be doing it for someone else. And we spoke about this in work context and all that other stuff. So, you know, one, it has to be something that actually you want to do, but it's not that you lack motivation. It's just actually you just need to figure out what those baby steps are. And it is all about creating habits, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. All about those habits. Yeah.
So, you know, you get up, you clean your teeth and all those things you just do second nature. So if you then start, you know, for me, start writing what I feel is going to be the base of my email every morning before I start, and then actually that might get fleshed out in the afternoon. That works for me. If I want to lose weight, then actually I've just got to stop. I need to plan my meals a little bit better and write down my calories and make sure that I'm not eating more than actually what I'm burning, which actually at the moment is very little. So it's not eating very little. I'm still eating like a pig, but I'm just not moving very much.
So we need to move more. And I think also the other thing about these habits, one of the good things to do is to look for something that you do every day and then think about the thing that you want to add into your daily routine and see if you can kind of lock it with something that you already do. For example, like you said, maybe you go and have your first cup of tea in the morning and that's when you write. You're always going to have that first cup of tea in the morning. So if you link it to the writing, then it's much more likely that you're going to do it. I've got a thing that I'm doing at the moment where I'm watching my nan, who's kind of 84, and every time she stands up, she wobbles a little bit and she bumps into furniture and stuff. And I'm like, I really want good balance. So every time I brush my teeth, and I've got an electric toothbrush, so it takes 2 minutes, I stand on one leg. And in the evening, I brush my teeth for 2 minutes, I stand on the other leg.
That's
and
fantastic.
So I'm balancing. But I've got to brush my teeth every day. So then if I stand on each leg, and it's like, if I do this until I'm 80, I'm going to have great balance. And it's just sandwiching it with something else that you're already doing means you're much more likely to do it. So I think that's the thing as well, is trying to find those times in your day when it can fit and when you can link it to something else, you're much more likely to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. And like we said before, like it doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. But if you do want to do something, then rather than just say, I'm going to do it, just take that extra, it might only be 10 minutes there. Well, actually, physically, how am I going to achieve that? Break it down into months if it's like a yearly goal, if there's something you want to achieve by the end of the year. And then you can just break it down steps. Like it might be a saving goal, for instance. And if it's a saving goal, if you want to save or if you want to go somewhere, then you need to save money. And if you need to do that, then you need to, you know, work out what things you weren't going to buy and what you were going to buy, etc. And then just break it down in that manner. So it needs that planning stage. And me personally, I'm a very much, I'm the sort of person that will just go ahead and do things. I don't like to plan in too much detail, but you do need to have a rough plan. That doesn't mean that you can't, ad lib and go off script and do other things as well. But you need that, at least that basic plan of where you're going.
And I think conversely, like we just talked about saving goals, if you've got a goal this year to make X amount more money, actually breaking that down, like how much will that be a week, a month? How much will that be a week? How many clients or products am I selling? How many more clients or products do I need to sell to make that goal? And actually breaking it down step by step like that, because then it seems a lot more achievable, actually, because once you've broken it all down, you're like, oh, actually, that's only 1 extra client a month or, 5 extra sales a week. And that makes it seem like a more attainable goal. And then you've actually got those weekly goals to kind of hit, and it kind of pushes you. I need to hit that goal. I'm going to put out another post on social media. I'm going to ring that client who said that they might be interested and firm up that lead. And I think the more specific we can make stuff and the more we can break stuff down, the more likely we are to hit those goals.
Exactly.
So break it down, be specific, and just do it.
Just do it. Just go out in there and do it. But then you're working towards those smaller goals, those smaller planned actions that you've done, rather than the massive big goal that you've set. So in your instance, running the marathon, actually, it's just on Friday, I need to run for an hour. Now, if I don't go run for an hour, then I'm just cheating myself, aren't I? So you put all those things in.
And I've read a habit book at the moment, and it's like, don't make running the habit, make putting your running shoes on the habit. Because once you put your running shoes on, you're running.
But yeah, great one.
You sit down and put the shoes on, and then you're like, well, I've got to run now. I've got the shoes on. Go for it. And then it just pushes you out of the door. And I thought that's really interesting. Make the first step the habit, and then everything else follows through. So next week, we're going to talk about time management, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Because I've been talking to a lot of my clients about this, people with kids at home and trying to run businesses and all of that stuff. So talking about how we can manage our time better and make the most out of it. So we're looking forward to that.
Yes. Yeah. When you drill into that, there's so many things that probably we do without even thinking that just burn through our time. So yes, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, fabulous. So come and join us next Friday at 10 a.m. on Bertie's LinkedIn and my Facebook, and afterwards on Instagram TV. No, Bertie's LinkedIn, my Facebook. That was right.
Yeah, that's right.
You were doing it. I was like,
Bertie's LinkedIn.
Bertie's LinkedIn.
Your Facebook.
My Facebook.
Your Facebook.
And Instagram TV afterwards.
And then we put that on as the replay, don't we?
We do. And we'll share all our time management tips with you. So see you next Friday at 10.
See you then. Take care.